Hi, and a very warm welcome to this interview series, Conversations That Inspire. This series of interviews is specifically created for female business owners who are looking to connect with business experts and who are also looking to be inspired during their journey as a business owner. So a very warm welcome to you today. Just a little introduction for anybody who hasn't met me before. I'm Rachel Smith, a business grower. I live here in the UK and I work with female business owners who are looking to grow their amazing business, and I help them with three aspects, which I believe are the absolutely three essential areas that you need in your business, which is money, ensuring that you have a brilliant relationship with money, because sometimes you won't realise it, but you are probably repelling money, and that's obviously not very handy when you are in business, when we need to attract money. So we look at your money story and your money blocks and start to clear those away so that you can attract a consistent flow of clients and money into your business. I also support business owners with their mindset, because once you have created a mindset of I can do this, it makes life so much easier. And the third aspect is marketing. So looking at who is your ideal client, what are your products and services, what's your sales funnel, looking at how you could effortlessly attract clients to you, and really kind of marketing in a way that suits you. There's no kind of like, this is how you must do it. It's all about creating an approach that actually suits who you are. So that's who I am. If you want to find out more about me, how I work with people, or my story, you can find out more over my website, which is www.businessgrower.com. So I am absolutely delighted to welcome the guest speaker today, which is Ruby McGuire, who is a visibility coach. Now, Ruby and I were connected last year in the most amazing way possible. So just to give you an idea about how much Ruby knows about visibility is this particular experience. So Ruby contacts me in January last year and invites me to be part of her telesummit, which we delivered throughout May. And it was the most incredible experience to have that much visibility on your business. And that all kind of came from Ruby. So she really does know what she's talking about, and she's got loads and loads of tips and ways that you can increase your visibility. So a very warm welcome to you, Ruby. We're just having a few difficulties, so currently we can't actually see your beautiful face, but we can hear you. So a very warm welcome, Ruby.
Thank you. You have to admit, it's kind of hilarious, visibility, and you can't see me. I just think it's so funny. Anyway, thank you for the lovely introduction. It's really nice to be here. So yeah, I'm McGuire. So I am a visibility coach. I work with service-based solopreneurs and basically help them to shine their fabulousness both on and offline.
And you really do. Again, I really want to just be completely transparent here and say that I'm currently working with Ruby on her visibility bootcamp, which is an awesome resource for business owners. And one of the reasons why I'm kicking off my kind of interview series is through the work that I've done with Ruby in that bootcamp. This has been an idea that's been in the back of my head for about 2 years. So it really does work working with Ruby to increase visibility. So Ruby,
well, first of all, Rachel, well done. If it's been that length of time, I hadn't realised. So well done, and actually picking up and doing it. It's amazing. Well done.
Thank you. So Ruby, let's kick off. And what I really would like for you to do in the first instance is kind of really share your journey. As business owners, we all have a story, don't we? So I really would love for you to share, what is your why? Why do you do what you do?
Okay, so before I rebranded as a visibility coach, I was working as a coach with coaches, and my big why then was to rid the world of grumpy people. And what I mean by that is coaching is such a powerful tool for helping people to see the possibility, the opportunities, and to make change, to actually create the lives that they dream of. And when I started to work on my rebrand, and I worked with a coach because I really wanted to get clear on the direction I wanted to take my business, I kind of thought, well, I know I really do want to do this, but I couldn't figure out what is my big why, because I train that out with my clients. And I do think it's really important, why are you doing this business? And if you haven't watched the TED Talk by Simon Sinek, The Golden Circle, definitely watch it, because it will really help you get clear on why you need to know why. So I spent a lot of time digging around it. And actually, I realized that when I was about 10 to 12, I was always going to run my own business. So way back, I was always planning out this little business. I remember sitting on the stair, maybe even younger, sitting on the staircase with a crossword or word search puzzle book, pretending that I owned my own travel agency at the time. Bizarre, because it's never come into anything since. So I think for me, business was always going to be a big part of it. But the other side for me is around mindset. And that's all to do with I was very low in confidence. I was very quiet. I was an overweight teenager, quite an introvert, really. I was always the wallflower. I was always the one that wasn't the popular one, and that kind of. I had a couple of really good friends, but I was never visible. And I think that's where the two have kind of come together into one in what I'm delivering. So for me, it's not just about, when I say visibility, it's working through some of the fear, and obviously we'll come on to that in a bit, but it's working through some of the fear and the confidence and that kind of thing. But it's also working on the mindset, but also working on the business at the same time. So you need to do both approaches. It isn't just do one and the other happens. You need to have a combination of both at the same time.
Yeah, it's so true, isn't it? I was talking to a client about this first thing this morning, about how as a business owner you step up in a way that you would never step up when you're working for somebody else. But then it kind of brings in the fear, doesn't it? Because every time you step up, you have that fear of, can I do this? Who am I to do this? So the mindset is such a crucial element.
Yeah, and I think a big part that's come with me from my past, my background is head of HR. I worked in quite a strategic role, so I've got all the business side of it anyway. But it was more that I had a person working for me who was training in HR, and she was doing her degree that I'd already done. And she kept on challenging things that I was doing. And I actually got into a really bad state of imposter syndrome, and I double-checked everything that I was doing. I had so much fear around it. What if people thought this? What if I got it wrong? Especially when I was dealing with legislation. So I could really cost the company a lot of money if I got it wrong. And all she was doing her job of checking. I was training her, and she was going through the actual training as well. She was just checking in with me. But my mind was going overtime and just telling me that it was because I wasn't good enough, and that what she was learning was better than what I'd learned. And I obviously wasn't doing it right, and just absolute nonsense. And it crippled me completely in my business, in my job, because I wasn't in business then. And I think that's another reason why I bring that mindset in, because I do get it. I understand some of the fears. I know what it's like having to press publish on a blog post and think, oh, what if people don't like it? And what if they think that, I've said the wrong thing, or who am I to put myself out? I get it, because I've gone through all that stuff. And even now I still find things scary. I think I'm just going to press publish, close my eyes and walk away and hope for the best. Because you kind of have to as a business owner. You have to feel the fear and do it anyway, constantly. It's a massive, massive pushing comfort zone journey.
It is. And, it can be awesome as well.
Absolutely.
So in these interviews, I like to keep it real. Because sometimes people who are watching the interviews will think, well, it's okay for them because they've got it all sorted. And I really like to be able to demonstrate that actually we're all on a journey. Sometimes some of us are just a little bit further down the road than other people. So what I'd love for you to do, Ruby, is to share, what has or what is the biggest challenge in your business, and how have you overcome it if you have, or what are the steps that you're taking now to overcome it if it's still currently a challenge for you?
Okay, I think my biggest challenge, and it's not now, but it came as recently as last year, and all the time I've been running my business over the few years, My biggest challenge was really, I was marketing to everybody. I would be asked, what is it that I wanted to do? Well, who is it I worked with? And I'd just say, well, I can work with anyone. I can coach, I can work with anyone. And actually that did not serve me well. And I wasted at least a year of time in my business. Saying that, though, there were lots of lessons that I learned. I also got to know who my people were over that period of time, but I definitely could have been better with what I was doing. So for me, once I got clear on the niching and who my ideal clients were, then I actually got clients. So if I had a handful of clients, but it was very much feast or famine, because they'd come in and then they go, and they come in and they go. And it was just, it was hard work. I think once I got clearer, and the same again, once I've rebranded and got really super clear on who my people are, you then start to attract the right people. You've got better messages because you know who you're talking to. You're really clear on some of the things that your clients struggle with. So you're able to help them through free content and paid, through the things that you offer them in terms of tweets and Facebook posts and all of those kind of things. Plus obviously working with you one-to-one or doing group programs. So for me, it was, you know, when I was doing the rebranding last year, I knew again, I must get clear on that ideal client. It's like, I'm not going to change anything until I really know who those people are, because I knew that was the biggest single difference. You have to get that right first, because otherwise you're just out there promoting yourself to the wrong people, and that's exhausting because it doesn't give you the traction that you need in your business.
And I think it is one of the biggest stumbling blocks, and I've certainly experienced it. I was very similar to yourself, actually, Ruby. You know, you hear somebody saying in the early days, you've got to niche, and I was like, no, I'm not going to niche.
Yeah.
And the resistance came because it felt hard to decide who it is. But once you have, like you said, your message is so much easier to craft your message, to get that message out to your audience. So however hard and uncomfortable it might make you feel, it is essential work to understand.
Absolutely.
Who to work with.
Yeah, and when you do, it's just like this huge light bulb goes on. It's like, yes, that's it. That's exactly what it is. But it takes, honestly, I can't tell you the hours. When I first niched coach for coaches, I went down to a hotel and got a pad out. My husband said, what is it then? So we've got to confidence coach. And then I spoke to my coach, and she turned around and she said, well, it's a bit woolly. And it's like, oh, seriously, I thought I'd cracked it. And we ended up with all sorts of different things. So I could do loads of different things. I could be a divorce coach. I've been through divorce. I could be a creative coach because I'm very creative. I could be bereavement because I've gone through lots of grief. There's so many different things I could do. But you have to kind of think about, what are your strengths, your experiences, what are you passionate about? You know, where do you think you can serve best? What's going to make the biggest difference? And you just have to get that clarity. And it is incredibly frustrating. I had hours and hours of coaching and mentoring and pads of bits all over the place trying to figure it out. But once I did, it's amazing. It's just that massive clarity that you get, and everything just feels so much easier.
Brilliant. So let's talk about visibility then, Ruby. What do you think is the biggest thing that holds people back in being more visible in their business?
I think it's around the confidence side of things, because we can be confident in different situations. So, as I say in my boot camp, you might make a mean spaghetti bolognese, but put you on a WordPress website and you completely fall into a million pieces. And I think it's you have to work on your mindset, because that's the thing that's going to hold you back. So you're going to have that fear potentially coming up, all of those who am I, the self-doubt and everything else. Then you might be getting overwhelmed because there is so much choice out there of what to use. You know, we could blab, we could periscope, we could tweet, we could do all of these different things. So what's the right thing? And that becomes quite overwhelming. So it stops us in our tracks, and it can make us then feel low in confidence because you're not attracting the clients, and it's all of this has got such a knock-on effect. You know, that you might be feeling, you might be having perfectionist feelings. So, you know, you're frightened to put it out there because it's not quite 100% perfect. I'm a really big perfectionist. So it's one of those things I kind of have to keep thinking, do you know what? It is what it is, and it's going out there now. Otherwise, it's never going to go out there, and you tweak and change as you go. So I think it's really the fear, the self-doubt that holds you back. It makes you procrastinate because you think, well, I'll just do this first. It might be the washing or another bit of conversation on a Facebook thing when you know really what you're meant to be doing is talking about your offer or something like that. And it's that really. So I think the more you can work on your mindset by working through those blocks and building those blocks up, then you're going to feel that you can actually be visible. You'll make the decision then to go out and be visible, and then you can apply all of the different strategies that make you visible. But it's got to be that combination of working on your mindset and then doing the strategies that work in terms of marketing your business.
That's great. Thanks, Ruby. I think that's hopefully a message that will resonate with lots of people listening to this. That it is confidence about who they are and who you want to work with that's holding people back from being visible. And and it is, we talk about 80% done, don't we?
Definitely, I was going to say that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And me, really, I got about 60% done. So in your visibility bootcamp, you combine both business and mindset. So why do you think that's so important?
I think because it's all well and good having all of the business knowledge and the business skills and whatever it is that you're trained in. So whether you're a coach or you're a nutritionist or a health and beauty, whatever it is that you're in, you know all of that stuff. But until you're ready to share your message and you've got the confidence to share that message, people won't know about you. So you literally could potentially have no business, because no visibility equals no business. There's a lot of people out there online doing different things to promote their business. So you need to be in amongst all of those people to be seen in the first place. But you also need to be confident enough that you're stepping up and you're leading your group of people. So whoever your tribe, as it's often called, whoever your tribe of people are, your ideal clients, they need to know that you're confident to lead, and then they'll be confident in you and wanting to work with you, because they'll see you as the authority on, you know what you're talking about, you are able to help them, and this is how you're going to help them. So I think you have to have both. There's no point being super confident but actually not having the business knowledge, so not knowing where to market yourself or where to, what prices to charge and that kind of thing. You might just pick a silly number out and that wouldn't be relevant to the marketplace and all of those kind of things. So you do need to have the business side, but you also have to have the mindset. Now, I really do think that there's a lot of programs out there offering, one or the other. But you need to be working on both. Really important.
Definitely. And in terms of people who've been through your boot camp route, where they've actually combined both the business and the mindset, what difference is that making currently to people who are doing that?
It's just some of them. I've worked with some of that have been my existing clients that are going through it, and some are new clients, and I've just seen some of the differences where people are going out and doing blabs and they're doing periscopes. And for those of you who aren't techie minded, there's people, actually taking action on their websites. Again, it's still taking action. They're doing something to be more visible. They might not have had a website, or they might be making those baby steps. Or they're actually saying it's okay for me to put a blog post out there, or it's okay for me to go along to networking meetings. I've got people in there who've approached celebrities. They would possibly never have done that before they'd done the boot camp, and now they're collaborating with celebrities on their programs, or they're getting tweets from people. So there's lots of different things that they're doing. It may be just stepping out and going to that networking meeting and having the right thing to say, and that gives them the confidence to then talk about their business. So massive results. I've even seen you're doing blabs. There's lots of different things that people are doing as a result of it, which is just fantastic.
Brilliant. It's always great to know, isn't it, that in reality it works.
Yeah, and I think the big thing with visibility is people want instant, and I think because there's so much out there saying, well, you can have a 6-figure business overnight and all of this kind of thing. All of that's taken time for them to get there. If they've had it overnight, amazing. I'd just like to know how many overnights, because it takes time to build relationships with people in your business. It's not going to be a quick, here you go, this is what I've got, come and buy it. It takes time to build that, and it takes time to be visible as well. And it's about consistency, constantly making sure that you're showing up, whatever platform it is that you're choosing, whether that's on or offline.
So I love fast results. So in terms of visibility, what do you think the kind of quickest way is to build your visibility in your business?
Okay, so as I was saying, it isn't a quick thing, but you can definitely build results. So what you need to focus on, I think, the biggest thing here is relationship building. So whatever platform you decide to use for that, whether it's in groups you're chatting to people, whether it's online, offline, approaching people in your groups, whatever it is, it's about relationship building. So let me give you an example. For me, I run a Facebook group. I have, I can't even remember what the last is, over 100. It might be nearer 200. I'm not sure the last count, but I have a strategy where I contact every single person in my group and I have a chat with them. And I don't have a 20-minute chat with them, and I don't chat with them about come and buy my services. I just have a chat with them and just say, look, I'd love to get to know a little bit more about you. What is it that where are you at right now with your business? What is it that you're hoping to achieve? How can I help you through my content, through my group? And it's basically a way of getting to know the people in there. It's building a relationship, and you're actually almost doing a bit of market research because you're starting to understand what those people really need. And that's really, really powerful. And it's taken time to build, but as I have, more and more clients have come from that process. And I just keep in touch with them and we just follow up. And eventually it may or may not lead to a business relationship, as in a paid business relationship. But what it does is it brings so much more fun into your business. It really helps you get clearer on your ideal client, because we often think we know what our clients need, but actually it's way better just to ask them. Much less tiring, and you're going to get more information anyway. And it also, so it just allows us to build those relationships over time. And it's just a really powerful thing. Relationship building, I think, because we've got all of this techie stuff, we kind of miss a trick with it a little bit. We kind of think, well, we'll just put a post out and that's enough. And it's like, well, no, you need to be nurturing the people that you're talking to. And they might not work with you, but they might actually recommend you to someone else because of the support that you've given them in one way or another.
That is a fantastic, absolutely fantastic actionable there, Ruby. You know, for people to make direct contact with people in a like non-salesy way, just in a way of making contact like you would if you were in.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, you meet new colleagues, something like that. So that's a brilliant actionable. Thank you for sharing that one.
Yeah, always with the cappuccino, of course. In my instance, anyway.
So I know that one of your key messages is about self-care, and you include that in the work that you do with your clients, Ruby. Mm-hmm. So why is that so important to business owners?
I think it's come from a personal place initially, because I kept on going into crash and burn. I'm a bit of a workaholic. I'm passionate about what I do, and I find it quite difficult to find a line of work-life balance. I don't know that such a thing exists really, because even if I'm doing something that's nothing to do with business, something I'll see a cushion or something and off I'll go into a blog post. You know, that's how my mind works of connections and stuff. So for me, it was very difficult I find it very difficult to switch off. And what was happening, it's about a year and a half ago now, I started the beginning of 2015 to actually get really clear on what I needed to do to look after myself. Because prior to that, I was just crashing and burning constantly, literally having a whole weekend out because I'd work for weeks on end, and then I would just be absolutely exhausted. It didn't serve me. It didn't serve my family. You know, I was completely absent, which was not my intention when running my own business. So at the beginning of 2015, what I decided was I needed to have really a proper self-care strategy. So rather than it being a coping plan, which was the kind of thing that I'd done, I'd get to that point, oh my goodness, I've really burnt myself out again. Now it's time to do some reading, have a nice bubble bath, all of the things that you might want to do to look after your self-care. I realised I needed a maintenance strategy so that I wouldn't get to that place in the first place. So now what I do is I make sure each day I've got something going on that's going to help me with that. And initially it was a bit of I had like 20 different things I was going to do in a day, and I thought, well, that's not actually practical. I'm not going to fit a business in if I have that much self-care. So it's about tweaking and changing. And now I kind of have a list and think, well, do I feel like that one or do I feel like this one? And I usually pick a couple of things off that list. And that has made a massive difference to my business. Honestly, as I'm going through the launch stuff at the moment, my self-care has dropped. And it was only sort of the weekend I thought I've really let myself down on this. I've gone back to my same old routines like we do. And I had to pull back to my maintenance strategy again because I'd kind of lost my way a little bit. And I think it's like anything, we can do really well with it. And then we have these blips and things that hit, and then we realise what we're doing wrong. But I realised a lot quicker. It was literally within a week or so that I realised, whereas before I'd have been doing months and not really picking up on the fact that I needed to do self-care. So I think when you're being visible and when you're running your own business anyway, you need to look after your energy levels. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort, and you need to look after your energy levels so that you are the best you can be for when you're showing up, when you're having conversations with your clients, when you're delivering training and that kind of thing through group programs. It's really, really important. So it's the thing that I talk about with everyone right at the beginning of the journey with me, whether that's one-to-one or in groups, because I just think it's so very important. Because if you're burnt out, you haven't got a business because you're too tired to run it, and you kind of get a bit resentful. I think I did when I got to that burnout point a couple of years ago, and you don't enjoy it as much. And that's such a shame because it could be the difference between running a business or not.
And when you have our businesses, it's absolutely vital because we're the only one in it.
Absolutely.
For, in the best possible place as much as possible. You've already kind of put your hands up and said there are times when it still crops up, but you recognise it's so much easier than earlier.
And you were saying about the challenges, and I would say that's probably one of my biggest, because I get so excited about what I do. It's really difficult for me to sometimes stay present, actually. So I have to be really careful that I'm doing, like I do my Headspace app because I like my Headspace app. And then I'll do a bit of Qigong because I like my Qigong, and I'll take the dog out for a walk and those kind of things. And then that helps me. But sometimes I literally have to almost click my fingers to bring myself back to the present, because I'm thinking, oh, and I've got this to do and that to do, and oh, and I could do it. And I've got this shiny syndrome going, shiny object syndrome going on. And so I'd say that's probably my constant biggest challenge, is being present, not thinking about business.
Definitely. And I think when you run your own business, we realise that we have all this ability to create whatever we desire. And that is exciting. Yeah.
We can just think of it, and then it actually comes into reality, which is just so cool.
It is really cool. You don't have to sit around with like a board of directors and
no red tape at all.
Yeah. But then, as I said, it's like that shared syndrome, isn't it? That you do start going, ooh, I'm going to follow this. And it's great to hear that actually that self-care is such a key element of what you do for yourself and for your clients as well. So Ruby, if you could give the people who are listening to this blog kind of one piece of advice that they can take forward to get started being more visible in their business, what would that advice be?
I think it's show up. So set an intention that you're going to be more visible. So by just doing that makes a big difference. Just say, I'm going to be more visible, and talk to people that you know. So you could set yourself, I like to set mini dares with my clients. So I'm going to do this week, and tell somebody about it, and then show up. And it's the constant showing up that makes the difference. It's being consistent. I liken it to, you wouldn't go to a networking meeting, start a conversation with somebody, and then walk off. You would stay engaged with them. And you need the same kind of thing when you're doing your online work and your offline work, but you wouldn't do that probably anyway. But with your online strategy, you need to make sure you're engaging with the people. So keep showing up, keep engaging, and set that intention. And sorry, it's not one. Kind of wrapped up in one.
It's absolutely true though, isn't it? It's kind of be consistent.
Yeah.
Be persistent.
Yeah.
And it will happen. And sometimes it can feel like you're doing all this activity and you're not getting the results, but then all of a sudden the results start coming. Yeah. So if you stop before those results start coming in, you've kind of, you've done all that effort. You might as well just stay in it a bit longer and achieve results.
Definitely, yeah.
Fabulous. Thanks, Ruby, so much for coming on to this lab today and talking to us about visibility. You've shared so much, and there are some really key actionables for people who want to increase their visibility. So how can people find out more about what you do and how you do it, Ruby? What's the best way for people to get in contact with you?
Okay, so I'm kind of all over the place. So I've got a podcast show, which is called Rock Your Fabulous Biz. I've got a Facebook group of the same name, Rock Your Fabulous Biz. I've also got my website, which is www.rubymaguire.com. And if you want to check the ideas around what it is on visibility, where do you start, then I've got a free quiz that you can get, which is is that okay to share the link?
Yes, it is.
Okay. www.bit.ly, as in bit.ly/viz quiz, which is capital VIS and capital QUIZ. So you can grab that over on my website, and you will then find that you can test out your own visibility and see how visible you are really being. Because often we think we're doing really well, but you need to be rocking it, really.
Too true. You do need to be rocking your visibility. So thank you, Ruby. That is amazing content, and it's been absolutely lovely to speak to you, even though we couldn't see you in the film.
Typical. Brilliant. Thank you, Rachel.
Thanks, Ruby. Bye for now.
Thanks for having me. Bye.